Have you ever paid attention to how you walk? Not your speed. Not the distance. But each step you take, the way your foot touches the ground, the way your body moves. Maybe you've never really thought about it. Until that one day you almost tripped, on a sidewalk you've walked 100 times before. I used to think I was being very careful. Eyes fixed on the ground. Arms stiff at my sides. Small, hesitant steps. Cautious means safe, I told myself, over and over again. That is, until I saw my mother, a strong, independent woman for over 70 years, fall in the kitchen she knew like the back of her hand. Just one small misstep. A slight shift in balance. And her entire world changed. That moment made me question everything. What if the way we try to be careful is actually making us more likely to fall? What if it's not our bodies, but our fear, that's stealing our freedom? In today's video, I want to share a powerful story with you, a journey of a woman who thought she might never walk confidently again. But who learned to stand tall, walk right, and reclaim the confidence she thought was lost forever. You'll also discover practical lessons, simple yet powerful tips like proper posture, foot placement, and a 5-minute daily routine that could completely transform the way you walk. Stay with me until the end of this video. No expensive equipment. No complicated exercises. Just a little time, a little awareness, and a decision to say, I will walk as myself, not as my fear. This journey begins, right now. Why walking carefully might be making you more likely to fall. It sounds strange, doesn't it? How could being careful, something we've always been told is wise, actually put us in more danger? But the truth is, many people fall not because they're reckless, but because they're trying too hard to be careful. Let me explain. When we're afraid of falling, our natural instinct is to tighten up. We look down at the ground, we stop swinging our arms, and we take short, stiff steps like we're walking on ice. We think we're protecting ourselves. But in reality, we're doing the opposite. I remember visiting my Aunt Margaret one afternoon. She's 74, full of wisdom and stories, but also full of worry ever since she had a minor fall last year. That day, I watched her walk across her living room. Her arms didn't move. Her eyes were locked on the floor. Her feet barely lifted off the carpet. She was doing everything she thought was safe. And yet, she stumbled. Not because she wasn't careful, but because her body was too tense to respond when something unexpected happened. A small wrinkle in the rug was enough to throw her off. You see, when we stop moving naturally, when we stiffen, shorten our steps, and stop trusting our body, we lose the balance and coordination that's meant to protect us. Being cautious isn't the problem. But how we express that caution, that's what matters. So here's a small but powerful lesson to take with you. Confidence and awareness will protect you far better than tension and fear. And the first step to building that confidence is understanding what's really happening inside your body as you age. Because it's not just about walking. It's about how your muscles, posture, and even your balance system quietly change over time, and what you can do to work with those changes, not against them. Let's talk about that next. The hidden enemies of balance after age 60. When we think about balance, most of us imagine it's just a matter of being careful, staying upright, not rushing, watching where we step. But balance is more complex than that. And as we get older, there are quiet, hidden changes in our bodies that can slowly chip away at our stability, often without us noticing. Let's talk about 4 of these hidden enemies. First, muscle loss. After the age of 60, we naturally begin to lose muscle mass, especially in our legs, hips, and core. These muscles are what hold us steady when we walk, turn, or react to something unexpected. But when they weaken, even small shifts in movement can feel overwhelming. Second, changes in posture. Over time, many of us begin to hunch forward, maybe from years of sitting, or just the natural aging of the spine. Our head starts to lean out, our shoulders round forward. It may not seem like much, but it shifts our center of gravity forward, pulling us off balance without us even realizing it. Third, declining reflexes and slower reaction time. Think about how quickly a child can trip and catch themselves. Now imagine that same stumble at 75. The body doesn't react as fast, and that delay can make the difference between a small slip and a serious fall. And fourth, the loss of proprioception. That's a fancy word for your body's internal GPS, the sense that tells you where your feet are, how your weight is shifting, or if you're tilting slightly. As this sense weakens, you may start to feel unsure even when standing still on flat ground. Let me tell you about Peter, a retired school principal I met during a community wellness class. Peter had always been active, but lately, he felt off. He hadn't fallen, but he said, "It's like I can't trust my legs anymore." He didn't realize that these subtle changes, weaker leg muscles, slower reflexes, and his slightly hunched posture, were all working together to throw off his balance. Once he understood what was happening, he stopped blaming himself, and started working with his body instead of against it. And that's the takeaway here. When we know what's changing, we stop feeling helpless. We stop thinking, "I'm just getting old," and start asking, "What can I do about it?" And there is something you can do, starting with how you hold yourself when you walk. Because posture isn't just about standing tall. It's about reclaiming the balance that age tries to take away. Let's explore that in the next part. How your posture is sabotaging every step you take. Posture is one of those things we don't often think about, until it starts causing problems. We assume that if we're not slouching in a chair or hunching over a phone, we're doing fine. But when it comes to walking, posture plays a far bigger role than most people realize. And over time, small changes in the way we carry ourselves can lead to big risks. Here's what happens. As we age, it's common for the head to begin tilting forward, the shoulders to round, and the upper back to curve slightly. It's gradual, almost invisible at first. But this shift, even by just a few inches, throws your body's center of gravity forward. Suddenly, you're no longer walking upright. You're leaning. And when you're leaning forward, you're placing extra pressure on your knees, your hips, and, most dangerously, your toes. This makes it much easier to trip, harder to catch yourself, and far more likely that a small misstep could turn into a fall. I remember having coffee with a lovely woman named Diane, who told me something that stuck with me. She said, "I don't know when it happened, but one day I looked at a photo of myself, and I wasn't standing tall anymore. I looked like I was shrinking." What Diane had noticed wasn't just about appearance, it was her posture quietly changing her entire relationship with movement. She had started walking with her head down, shoulders tight, taking quick, shallow steps. And once we took a closer look, it was clear, her posture was pulling her forward, making every step feel uncertain. We worked together on just one thing at first, lifting her gaze. Instead of looking at the ground, I asked her to focus on a spot a few yards ahead, about 10 feet. That simple change brought her head back into alignment, encouraged her to stand taller, and helped her feel more in control. She later told me it made her feel like she belonged in her own body again. Here's the lesson. Your posture doesn't just affect how you look, it changes how your body moves, how stable you feel, and how your brain senses balance. So if you find yourself constantly looking down, or feeling like you're leaning into your steps, take a moment. Pause. Breathe. Lift your chin. Your body will thank you. Now, of course, posture is only one piece of the puzzle. Because even when we understand how to walk correctly, there's something else that often gets in the way. Fear. And in the next part, we're going to talk about how fear, the very thing that's trying to protect you, might be what's actually making you fall. The vicious cycle of fear, stiffness, and falling, and how to break it. Fear can be a powerful teacher. It keeps us from crossing the street without looking. It reminds us to slow down on icy sidewalks. In many ways, it's there to keep us safe. But when it comes to walking, especially as we grow older, fear can quietly become the very thing that puts us in danger. Let me explain. After someone experiences a fall, or even a close call, the fear that follows is completely natural. But instead of helping, that fear often changes the way we move. We begin to stiffen. We take shorter steps. We stop swinging our arms. We walk like we're trying not to disturb the floor beneath us. And when the body is tense and rigid, it actually becomes harder to stay balanced. Muscles can't respond quickly. Reflexes slow down. The body loses its natural rhythm. It's what I call the fear-stiffness-fall cycle. Fear makes you stiff. Stiffness affects your balance. A fall confirms your fear and the cycle deepens. I saw this firsthand with Harold, a kind, soft-spoken gentleman in his early 80s. He slipped once in his garden, just once, but that single moment changed how he walked for months. He started avoiding uneven ground, even small curbs. He held furniture when walking across his living room. And he told me, "I feel like I'm walking on eggshells all the time." What Harold didn't realize was that his fear had taken the driver's seat. And it was robbing him of the confidence and freedom he once had. So we started with something simple. Breath. Each time he walked, I asked him to take a deep breath, loosen his shoulders, and swing his arms, even just a little. It wasn't perfect at first. But week by week, his body began to remember how to move freely again. And slowly, the fear faded. Here's the lesson. Fear of falling is real, and it's valid, but we can't let it rewrite the way we live. Movement should feel natural. Confident. And with the right approach, it can. So how do we rebuild that confidence, step by step? Sometimes, all it takes is seeing what's possible. And in the next part, I want to share with you a real story, a journey of someone who faced this fear head-on, and came out stronger on the other side. Real-life transformation, how Martha relearned to walk at 75. I want to tell you about Martha. Martha was 75 when she slipped on a wet tile floor in her kitchen. It was early morning, she had just made her tea, and as she reached for the cupboard, her foot gave way. The fall wasn't dramatic. But the aftermath was. She fractured her wrist, bruised her hip, and spent 2 weeks in recovery. But what stayed with her wasn't the physical pain, it was the fear. Suddenly, the home she'd loved for over 40 years felt unfamiliar. Her hallway looked longer. The stairs seemed steeper. Even walking to the mailbox became a source of anxiety. When we first met, Martha told me, "It's like I don't trust my body anymore." And I could hear it in her voice, not just fear, but grief. She was mourning her freedom. At first, she tried to walk more cautiously. She shuffled her feet, kept her eyes on the floor, avoided uneven ground. But none of that helped. In fact, it made her feel worse, more unstable, more unsure. So we took a different approach. We started small. One step at a time, literally. I asked her to focus on how she walked, not just whether she could. She practiced standing tall. Looking ahead, not down. Placing her heel first, then rolling through to her toes. Letting her arms move with her body. And most importantly, breathing through every step. It wasn't easy. There were days she wanted to give up. But little by little, her steps grew stronger. Not faster, not longer, just more grounded. 3 months later, she wasn't just walking to the mailbox. She was walking to the community center, with confidence. With purpose. Martha once told me, it wasn't about getting stronger. It was about learning to move differently. I thought I had to be brave, but really, I just had to be kind to myself. That's the heart of it. Sometimes, recovery doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from moving smarter. From learning to listen to your body again, and trusting that it still knows how to carry you. Now that we've seen what's possible, let's bring it back to you. Because before we can fix the way we walk, we need to recognize the small warning signs that often go unnoticed. In the next part, I'll walk you through a simple self-check, 7 red flags that may be quietly increasing your risk of falling, even if you feel fine. The 7 red flags in the way you walk, a simple self-diagnosis. Sometimes, the signs are right there, in how we move, how we carry ourselves, but we're too used to them to notice. The body has a quiet way of speaking to us. And walking, something we've done since childhood, can slowly shift in ways that silently increase our risk of falling. So today, I want to invite you to take a moment for something simple, something honest. A self-check. Here are 7 small red flags to look out for in the way you walk. You don't need a doctor, or a checklist, just a quiet moment and your awareness. 1. Do you shuffle your feet instead of lifting them? Dragging your feet, even slightly, increases your chances of tripping over small changes in the floor, rugs, curbs, even uneven pavement. 2. Are your eyes always fixed on the ground when you walk? Looking down might feel safe, but it pulls your head forward and shifts your balance. It also limits how far ahead your brain can plan your next steps. 3. Are your arms stiff, staying by your sides? Natural arm swing isn't just for rhythm, it actually helps stabilize the body. When you don't use your arms, your body loses a vital balancing tool. 4. Do your shoulders slump forward as you move? That forward posture doesn't just affect appearance, it affects your center of gravity. You're more likely to tip forward and less likely to recover from a stumble. 5. Do you take short, hesitant steps? Tiny steps may feel safer, but they can reduce your stride stability. A confident, natural gait is what keeps the body flowing smoothly. 6. Do you rely on furniture or walls, even in your own home? Grabbing for support can become a habit, and it often signals a loss of confidence and balance, even if you haven't noticed it yet. 7. Have you started avoiding walking outdoors or on uneven ground? Fear-based avoidance shrinks your world. And when you move less, your body loses the practice it needs to stay strong. Now, take a breath. This isn't a test. There's no score. But if you found yourself saying yes to 2 or more of these, it's a gentle signal from your body. Not a sign of failure, but a call for awareness. Because once you notice these patterns, you can start to change them. Just like Martha did. Just like many others have. Here's the quiet truth. Most people don't fall because their bodies fail them. They fall because their habits, built out of fear or instinct, slowly shift them out of alignment. And with just a few mindful changes, that risk can be reduced dramatically. So now that you know what to look for, let's talk about how to walk the right way. Because good walking isn't about being perfect, it's about being present, connected, and aligned. And that's exactly where we're headed next. How to walk right, the 6-step formula for safer, stronger movement. By now, you've seen how walking can go wrong, not because of weakness, but because of habit. But the beautiful thing about habits is that they can be changed. And learning to walk the right way doesn't require perfection, just practice, presence, and a little patience. Here's a simple formula I share with nearly every person I work with. 6 small adjustments that, together, can completely transform the way you move. Take your time with these. Try one at a time, then build them together. And most importantly, feel how your body responds. Step 1, head up, eyes forward. Imagine a string gently pulling you upward from the crown of your head. Your gaze should be about 10 feet ahead, not at your feet. This lifts your posture and gives your brain time to react to what's coming. Step 2, relax your shoulders. Let them drop away from your ears. Take a breath. Tension in the shoulders often travels down into the back, arms, even legs. Relaxed shoulders equals a more relaxed, balanced body. Step 3, let your arms swing naturally. Your arms aren't just decoration, they're your stabilizers. Allow them to move gently with each step. Think, right arm with left leg, left arm with right leg. It creates rhythm, flow, and balance. Step 4. Step heel to toe. Each step should land on your heel first, then roll smoothly through the sole to the toes. It's called heel-to-toe walking, and it gives your body time to adjust, balance, and push forward with control. Step 5. Keep your feet shoulder-width apart. Too close, and you feel wobbly. Too wide, and you lose efficiency. A natural, parallel stance, about shoulder width, gives you the best base of support. Step 6. Walk with a steady, relaxed rhythm. Not rushed, not dragged. Just steady. This rhythm keeps your muscles and nervous system in sync, and helps you stay alert without being tense. I remember working with a man named Glenn. He was skeptical at first. "I've been walking for over 70 years, he joked. But when he practiced this formula, even just for a few days, he told me something I'll never forget. I didn't realize how heavy I'd been walking, until it started to feel light again. That's the magic of walking right. It's not just safer, it's freeing. Here's the small but powerful lesson. Walking is not just transportation, it's communication between your body and your world. When you walk with awareness, your whole body listens, and responds. So now that you've learned how to walk better, let's give your body the strength and practice it needs to support those steps. In the next part, I'll guide you through a short, simple routine you can do at home, no equipment, no stress, just 5 minutes a day to help your body walk stronger and steadier. The 5-minute daily routine that trains your body to walk better. Now that you know how to walk right, it's time to help your body support those changes, with strength, coordination, and trust. But don't worry, this isn't about spending hours at the gym or doing complicated stretches. This is a 5-minute daily routine. No equipment. No pressure. Just you, your body, and a little bit of space in your home. These exercises are gentle, but powerful. They awaken the muscles you use to walk, and they reconnect your body to the rhythm it may have forgotten. Let's walk through them together. 1. Single leg stand with support, 1 minute. Stand behind a sturdy chair and place your hands lightly on the backrest. Lift one foot just a few inches off the ground, keeping the standing leg straight but not locked. Hold for 10 seconds, then switch legs. Repeat 3 times each side. This simple move wakes up the muscles in your ankles, knees, and hips, your built-in stabilizers. 2. Alternating knee lifts, 1 minute. Still holding the chair, gently lift your right knee up toward hip height. Lower slowly. Then lift your left knee. Alternate like a slow march, 10 reps per leg. This builds control and strength in your hip flexors and helps improve how you lift your feet while walking. 3. Heel-to-toe raises, 1 minute. Stand with feet hip-width apart. Rise slowly onto your toes, pause, then lower back down. Next, rock back onto your heels, keeping balance, then back to center. This strengthens your calves and ankles, key for push-off and balance. 4. Straight line walking, 1 minute. Find a hallway or open space. Walk in a straight line, heel to toe, letting your arms swing naturally. Focus on posture, gaze forward, and steady rhythm. Turn around and repeat. It's like walking practice, building muscle memory and restoring natural coordination. 5. Standing posture plus breathing reset, 1 minute. Stand tall, feet slightly apart. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, imagine your spine lengthening. Exhale slowly, relax your shoulders and jaw. Do this for 1 minute. This centers your body and mind, a moment of calm to end your practice with awareness and presence. I once worked with a woman named Evelyn. She was 78 and had stopped walking to her garden because she didn't trust her legs anymore. But after 2 weeks of this simple routine, just 5 minutes a day, she told me, "It's like my body remembered how to be strong again." And that's the beauty of it. Small, consistent movement retrains your body to move with confidence. It's not about doing more. It's about doing the right things, with care. So now that your body is learning how to walk better, let's take one more important step. Let's talk about the environment around you, your home, your daily path, and how to make it safer, more supportive, and fall-proof. That's coming next. Fixing your home, how to fall-proof your daily environment. You've done so much already, learning how to walk better, strengthening your body, and rebuilding your confidence. But there's one more piece of the puzzle we can't ignore, your surroundings. Because sometimes, it's not our body that lets us down, it's the hidden hazards around us that we've stopped noticing. The truth is, our homes are filled with little things that used to feel harmless. Until one day, they're not. Let me tell you about David. David was 81, sharp-minded and steady on his feet. But one morning, he tripped over a small rug at the foot of his bed, a rug that had been there for over 20 years. He knew that corner curled up sometimes, but he always told himself, I know it's there. I step over it. Until the one time he didn't. He was lucky, just a bruised knee and a scare. But it reminded him, and me, of something important. Familiarity makes us overlook risk. We stop noticing the very things that could hurt us. So here's a simple, practical guide to fall-proofing your home, room by room. 1. Remove or secure loose rugs. If you can't part with them, use non-slip pads or tape to keep them flat and firm. Rugs are one of the top causes of indoor falls, and they're completely preventable. 2. Clear the walkways. Keep floors free of clutter, shoes, baskets, and cords. Anything that interrupts your natural path is a risk waiting to happen. 3. Improve lighting. Add night lights in the hallway, bathroom, and bedroom. Your balance depends heavily on your vision, especially at night. 4. Install handrails where needed. Staircases, bathrooms, and even long hallways can benefit from support. Grab bars in the shower or next to the toilet can make a huge difference. 5. Choose the right footwear. Avoid slippers without grip or shoes that are loose at the heel. Look for non-slip soles and a snug fit that supports your foot. 6. Mind the bathroom. Wet floors, slippery tiles, and soap spills are a dangerous combination. Use bath mats with rubber backing and consider a shower chair or handheld shower head. 7. Store frequently used items within easy reach. Avoid using step stools or bending too far. Keep daily essentials at waist height, whether it's in the kitchen or bathroom. All of these steps are small. But together, they create a space that supports your movement, not works against it. I remember David calling me a week after making these changes. He said, "It's not just safer, my house feels more peaceful now. Like I can stop worrying and just live." That's the real gift. A safe environment doesn't take away your independence, it protects it. So as your body begins to move with more confidence, let your surroundings reflect that same intention. Support. Safety. Freedom. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something deeper, something beyond movement and muscles. Let's talk about what this whole journey is really about. Reclaiming your confidence, your freedom, and your life, one step at a time. It's not about age, it's about awareness, reclaiming your freedom one step at a time. Let's take a moment and breathe. You've learned so much on this journey, about your posture, your habits, your body, your environment. And maybe, somewhere along the way, you started to realize something important. This isn't really about age. It's about awareness. It's about how we respond to the changes that come with age, not the number itself. I once met a woman named June. She was 88, full of wit, and walked into my class wearing a bright pink scarf and a sparkle in her eyes. I asked her, "What brings you here?" And she said, "I don't want to feel small just because I'm getting older. I want to take up space. That phrase stuck with me. Take up space. June wasn't talking about being loud or being bold. She was talking about presence, standing tall, walking strong, and refusing to let fear shrink the life she still wanted to live. And that's what this entire journey is about. It's not about pushing harder, or pretending you're not aging. It's about moving through life with intention, with awareness, and with the quiet strength that comes from knowing your body, and trusting it again. So here's the final takeaway I want to leave with you. Your steps still matter. Your story is still unfolding. And every time you walk with confidence, you are reclaiming a piece of your freedom. Even if it's just to the mailbox. Even if it's just across the room. Because confidence doesn't arrive all at once. It builds, step by step, breath by breath, day by day. And I want to thank you, truly, for walking through this journey with me. If this video has helped you in any way, I'd love to hear from you. What resonated most with you? What will you try starting today? Leave a comment below, even just one word, and let me know you're here. And if you're ready to keep moving forward, don't forget to subscribe. There's so much more to share, exercises, tips, and real stories that can help you keep growing stronger. Until then, stand tall. Walk gently. And take up space, just like June. Because this is your life. And every step is yours to own.